Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung will hold a summit with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan on Monday. President Lee is making a 2-day state visit to Turkey for Monday, his last stop on a 10-day, four-nation tour. The two leaders are expected to discuss strengthening Seoul and Ankara's strategic partnership in defense, nuclear energy, and biotechnology. Before the summit, Lee will visit Anak Kabir, where Turkey's founder and first President Mustafa Kemal Atatürk is laid to rest. Before departing for Turkey for the final leg of his Middle East and Africa tour, President Lee Jae-myung met with Korean residents in South Africa, pledging to improve the overseas voting system. During a luncheon with about 70 Korean nationals living in the African nation on Sunday, President Lee acknowledged that some residents have had to travel as much as 1,400 kilometers to cast their ballots due to the lack of nearby polling stations. To address the issue, he proposed introducing an electronic voting system for overseas Koreans. This was the first meeting of its kind between a South Korean president and the Korean community in South Africa since the two countries established diplomatic relations in 1992. A new report says North Korea has continued to modernize and expand its main nuclear complex throughout this year. According to US-based monitoring website 38 North on Sunday, satellite images from October and November show continued construction across the Yongbyon nuclear complex, the regime's main source of plutonium and enriched uranium. The group reports heightened activity at a suspected enrichment site northeast of the radiochemical lab, including the completion of 2 support buildings, new concrete paving, and installation of 6 possible heat exchangers to cool centrifuges inside the main building. The report added that the improvements all serve to help fulfill Kim Jong-un's call for exponential growth of its nuclear weapons arsenal. China is stepping up its criticism of Japan after Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi suggested Tokyo could intervene in the event of heightened conflict between China and Taiwan. Following a 4-nation tour of Central Asia, China's top diplomat Wang Yi said Japan had crossed the red line, emphasizing regional support for Beijing's stance against Taiwanese independence. China has also taken its complaints to the United Nations and the IAEA, accusing Japan of challenging its core interests and questioning its commitment to non-nuclear principles. Additionally, at the G20 summit, the Chinese and Japanese premiers avoided any interaction. The number of Seoul residents in their 30s who own their own homes dropped to a record low in 2024. According to the Ministry of Data and Statistics, more than 527,000 people in their 30s in Seoul were not homeowners, while only 1 in 4 people in that age group owned their homes. Experts say the drop reflects a trend of couples getting married later, a rise in the number of people living alone, and limited supply. And due to soaring house prices, many young adults are finding it increasingly difficult to take their first step into Seoul's housing market. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.